What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome. We are continuing the Should I Switch series today. This is Xperiencify. Um, we have things to say, but that's a great hook. We have things to say. But this is gonna be fun. If you don't know what Xperiencify is, you will learn on this one. If you want to know what they are, then here you go. But this is gonna be fun. So we're just literally talking about, like, this is supposed to be like the last of our Should I Switch that we had planned, but we just named 2 more that we need to do. So we're gonna keep the series going as long as we have ideas. But hopefully these are helpful to you if you're using these other softwares, platforms, and considering switching to ClickFunnels. Hopefully it's helpful to you to understand the differences between them. And if you have no idea what these other ones are, maybe you know that there's some options too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
All
with all of the emphasis on linchpin and doing continuity first, right? I think a lot of times what we talk about in our community is more just the monetary aspect of doing a membership. Like, we're going to charge this amount, or this will be the business model, or, 30 days free with the MIFKI, and then you charge, right? But that's not what we focus on. What we really focus on is, yeah, but what's the experience of when you actually bring somebody into your membership area, and how do you make that so that they are feeling progress and it is something that they're willing to pay beyond 4 months, which is the average churn for a lot of subscription-based models, right? So when we're talking about these Should I Switch series, I just want to help people make sure that you're making the connection that it is not just a learning platform or engagement platform. It goes hand in hand with the continuity platform and like what all is included in that. And so I think that's really important. That's the essence of what we're really talking about.
And one more thing. So here we have what we call the Geek Stack. And while we are very much biased towards ClickFunnels because we know that it's the best funnel software platform, depending on which one you're talking about, 1.0 or 2.0, but it's the best funnel builder out there. But that doesn't mean we use it as an all-in-one. Like, our all-in-one consists of multiple things coming together, multiple apps and programs coming together. And so there might be something on this series that you're like, oh, maybe that makes sense for me to add into my tech stack.
Yeah. And those that claim to be all-in-one solution, they're lying to you, or they're doing it not so good. So I think a perfect example is, like, I was on the other day, I was telling you, Susan, on with like Go High Level, which is one of the Should I Switch series. And sure enough, we had some issues with email deliverability and texting. They claim to be an all-in-one solution, but when I get on with support, you can't get support because there's subsystems inside of there. So you still have to use the other systems and interact with their support. And, so it is not an all-in-one solution. It's just presented that way. And so I think a lot of us, we just need to embrace that. Nor would we want one company to do all of it, right? I mean, like, any one of these functions, email and deliverability, auto sending, automations, that is like an eternity huge ecosystem in and of itself to do it well. Community, same, whole ecosystem. No, we would not want one company to do all of these things, because you're just going to get a watered down version of something. So anyway, that's my soapbox, but I'll get off of it and let's go to the Should I Switch.
Awesome.
All
So
right.
full disclosure, I personally have not used Xperiencify. I have looked into it. I've researched it, even when they were first launching, but Andrea has. And so yeah, this is going to be good.
Yeah. So, and I have, so for my personal use, I've had one client, and then I've had actually one client that went to Xperiencify, and I can talk about, why that happened, and the benefits of that, and maybe if that falls, if that's you. So this is the Should I Switch series. And as, again, we're thinking about Should I Switch, we really need to consider all of the pieces. So of course, the funnel system. So what is their sales system? What is their funnel system? The customer CRM and autoresponder system, the membership area or content hub itself, and then the community aspect. We always say that in any great membership experience, you at least need 3 things. Number 1 is a content hub, a place where people can consume your content and engage with your content. Number 2 is a community where they can engage with one another and you. And the third one is what I call a nurture path, which is usually emails and texts and things that drive them back into the content hub. So that's the lens through which we're looking when we're analyzing, should I switch? So today we're going to deep dive into Xperiencify. Cool, fun name, sometimes hard to say. And for those of you who don't know it, I'm going to give you lots of examples and show you it. It is a lesser known one out there, but it is worthy of talking about. They have some interesting things that, and I can see why it appeals to people. So definitely worth talking about. Right away, I will tell you that while we talk about these things, we do have a pecking order of endorsement, which maybe we should do like a wrap up of the Should I Switch series. But I do think that any tech that you choose to run your business and who you think, your technology is an extension of you. And so at the end of the day, you do need to pick tech that fits with your brain and how you want to run your business. And I can see why Xperiencify appeals to some people. So we'll definitely talk more about that. Okay, so just like before, usually the people who are considering the should I switch, right? We had, our Thinkific and our Teachable are kind of the same as Xperiencify. They are thinking about learning and engagement first, but the tech stack and the complication of integrating the tech is something that's a pain point. And they're like, is it worth it? The other thing that they might be experiencing is the traffic problem and like, how do I actually leverage the power of funnels in order to have higher conversions? And then also just the customer experience of handing off between the sales system and the access to the material. Now, in the case of Xperiencify, I will say there is overlap because most people actually have their, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, we see a lot of more cases of a Thinkific Teachable paired with ClickFunnels, right? We see that combo. But when I work with my Xperiencify people, or even in my own customer base, they actually make the purchase activity in Xperiencify. So, because they don't leverage the power of the funnel at all, right? So typically what I see is like application funnel, and then, on the call, they take the credit card through Xperiencify and get them right in. And then Xperiencify is connected over to ActiveCampaign to manage like email distribution and content and, customer relationship management. So different, and that's a pretty common model for the Xperiencify people that I have worked with or seen. They don't really have a point of sale system through a funnel.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so like that would be great. I mean, that's fine if you require an application process and getting on a call with everybody who's buying your thing.
Right.
But for like lower priced things, you're not going to want to do that.
No.
So that's one of the pros and cons.
Yeah. And if you are then wanting to use a funnel, you will run into some of those issues of the handoff, right? Because you have to do a zap, from one system to the other, and then there's a timing issue and all of that good stuff. So there is a little bit of a pain point there. So these are all the questions usually I get. So if you're trying to make the decision of should you keep your Xperiencify or not, here are some considerations. So first and foremost, Susan, Dan, and I, we specialize in membership builds. We can make you an experience in ClickFunnels 1.0 that is better than Xperiencify. I will say that without a shadow of a doubt. It is possible with ClickFunnels. We have had several customers be like, I don't care. I want my tech in one stack, and that's it. Like, be done with it. But then what you're giving up, right, is this other thing of admin control. So we can make something. It doesn't have near the UI or the front end for you then as the CEO or the runner of your business to go in and change stuff, right? It's a little bit more complicated and nuanced because we've added some additional code on top of ClickFunnels, and you either need to kind of understand how that code works in order to manipulate and change stuff, or you're just like locked in and it's kind of like a set it and forget it type of model, right? So that is, those are some of the reasons why, while we can do it in 1.0, if that admin control is really important to you, then tools like Xperiencify are just a little bit easier to use and gives you that admin control. I will also say, surprisingly, that Xperiencify is geared towards engagement, and it does some really cool things on that front. And I hear reports back of it really working. I have some question around that a little later in the presentation, but it is a little clunky to build. It's not super easy or like there's some clunkiness to it. Like when you first start, it's a little bit easy, but then it's like it gets kind of complicated the way it's structured. And I'll show you guys that today. And of course, funnels and emails, I think, are somewhat of an afterthought. The majority of when you're building is all about the customer experience after the sale. That's really the main focus. Okay, in terms of customization, it has flair that you can add, and I'm going to show you that because it does have celebrations and badges and awards and points and like fun little gifts that you can add in there. And you can access the CSS and the JavaScript code relatively easily. Again, it's a little bit clunky, and so you can make it feel really personalized in terms of the celebration. I'm going to talk about this more. It's very gimmicky. So like you can't really like add your own images. You have to kind of pull from a library of images and GIFs, unless obviously if you are into coding, you probably could do some more there. And of course the funnel capabilities are like slim to none, right? Like it is just buy the thing, use the thing. And then controlling access, you would need to use a Zap if you purchase it outside of your system. And then from a cost standpoint, the comparable cost, because it is a little bit like apples to oranges, the comparable cost for Xperiencify, you do need to look at ClickFunnels Classic, Active Campaign, and video hosting in order to even be somewhat equivalent. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next. And do you want to talk a little bit about the slide?
Yes. Yeah. So Xperiencify does have, I think it's 4 different levels, 4 different plan options. And I went with, so there's one that's less, I think it's like $49 a month or something like that. And then there's the 99, and then there's another one, and then there's another one. I went with the $99 a month one because that seemed to be the most comparable to the ClickFunnels 1.0. But it doesn't matter which plan level you choose. Right now, they don't have the ability to do funnel strategy. Like Andrea said, you only have the ability to have a checkout for your program, and that's pretty much it. Now, to be totally transparent, they do have on their page that they do have that stuff coming soon. We don't know what that's going to look like. And then they have very limited emailing capabilities. Mm-hmm. They have the ability to broadcast all of your customers, but that's it. So you're still going to need an autoresponder. Our recommendation is Active Campaign. And then videos, they do have video hosting. ClickFunnels 1.0 does not. And ClickFunnels 2.0 does in a limited use right now. When we're talking about courses and like your learning programs, ClickFunnels 2.0 does handle the hosting of videos for that. Right now, it doesn't handle hosting videos to be used on your funnels. Hopefully that's changing soon. Student community. So there is some community features in Xperiencify. It's not as much as we were seeing with Thinkific, but there are some things there. Things like you can set up a forum, and they have the ability to like welcome each other. I think there was some coming soon features on that as well. Yeah. ClickFunnels doesn't have that yet. And then advanced customization, that's like we talked about that. You can access places to do CSS and code, but Andrea, you said it was a little bit clunky in Xperiencify. Yeah. So bottom line is the 2 prices that you see at the bottom is like the $205 a month is the least amount that we think you'd be able to pay. That's at the $99 a month Xperiencify plan. And then the most, if you went with their highest plan option, you'd be at $405 a month. That gets you some other things. So definitely you'd have to compare their plans and see what's best for you. One of the reasons I chose the $99 a month plan was because that was the level that you could have a custom domain. I feel like that's kind of necessary when you're running a business. Definitely. So then one other thing to note is that this is kind of cool. I liked this. Oh, cool. Yeah, is that with Xperiencify, you actually don't need a credit card to get started. You can go and build your entire course in there for free. And then you start paying once you're ready to go live with it. So it's a really awesome way to go try it out. Like, I like building in this before you go and start paying. To compare, ClickFunnels does have a 30-day trial. So you essentially can do the same thing there before you're ever paying for it. If you are able to do that within 30 days. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
I think too, yeah, you don't see that very often in SaaS. So I thought that was a really cool model. And then I think too, if you do nothing else, even if you end up not using Xperiencify, you would get some really good ideas on how to gamify your course if you wanted to. So it is worth checking out and trying to just do like a test build for learning if that's your goal.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Go get some ideas.
Okay, so here is the biggest thing that I want to stress, and what I meant in terms of it's kind of like comparing apples to apples. So ClickFunnels, or so whenever you're building any kind of software, right? There is my friend used to have this wonderful metaphor, and it's like the minds and the hearts of the team that's developing the software and determining the requirements for the software is essentially the heartbeat and the DNA of the software. And it doesn't matter what additional future asks come, the architecture and everything that that software was intended to be stems from the hearts and minds of the people who originated it, right? So when we look at ClickFunnels, the hearts and minds of the people who originated it had funnels and monetization and marketing at the heart and mind of what they were trying to do, right? I think the impact and all of that came later, but I think like the DNA and like the heartbeat that through ClickFunnels is funnels and monetization of offers and building businesses. And so, and you see that, and that's why they are second to none in the industry when it comes to funnel technology. That would make sense. And why they're not second to none when it comes to like the peripheral stuff of ClickFunnels. Okay. Xperiencify, the owners and founders of the Xperiencify software, I think, and I might get this wrong, but like they are well educated and well versed in game theory and in gamification, right? I mean, this is like PhD level and senior experience within industry level, right? And that is the heart and the mind that came together to make Xperiencify. And so it is a little bit like comparing apples to oranges because the heart and the DNA of the software and the intention of the software is fundamentally different. I would say that like the two need to marry and then like make an amazing baby, but and I am much more biased towards the heart and the DNA of Xperiencify. So that it's just fundamentally different. However, I will say this. When we actually go in, what you see here is 3 examples of Xperiencify courses. And let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and go into each one of these. But you can see, similar to what we saw on Teachable and Thinkific, there is this like template pattern that you can't really change, right? And so Xperiencify has this thing where like you come into like an onboarding page that they recommend and kind of push you down in the design. And then the onboarding page is about like the logistics of the program. And then they have to like say yes or no, and they got the logistics, and then it moves into the course itself. So what you see here are these 3 pages that are essentially the onboarding pages, right? And you can see like it's very similar. It's kind of similar to like if I was looking at sales funnels, right? They all kind of look and feel, they have a pattern and a similarity. It's true too for Xperiencify. So 3 different course creators, 3 different instances of Xperiencify, very similar in terms of the like video up top, the like, here's your mission, here's your quest, here are the things to get started, checkbox, checklist. Okay, you get points, now go. Okay, so what this actually looks like in practice, let me show you this. So this is, I have a bunch of goodies. Okay, so this is the Welcome to the Course Profit Accelerator. I got this a long time ago. I was trying to remember, I was like, where did I even get this from? I don't even know. I consume courses like it's sad. Actually, it's so sad because I want to study them. That's what I hack, right? Like people hack funnels, I hack courses and membership areas. So and again, I'll not go too deep and not scroll in too much just to honor the course itself. I actually think this was a free course, but so again, like great start, fun, humorous, like, very like human. And then it's like, hey, implement 3 profit accelerators. And it just like gives you an action and like a checkbox to do it. And then it has this thing where you get points, right? 10 experience points. Okay. Goal not able to check off. I don't know why. Design this to check off once you've actually implemented your 3 product accelerators. So again, it's like, okay, I'm stuck. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. So that might just be like in the design of the build, right? But it's like, okay. So it's giving me good feedback. Like I can't check it off. I can't go forward until I do the thing, but I don't really know actually how to go in and do the thing. And then it's like before you dive, which again is really good. So it's like, okay, I'm done. And you can hear that like it's like check and I'm getting points. Now, At this point, you might be having one of two reactions because most people do. The first reaction you might be having, because it's a surprise, you might be like, oh, that's cool. That's fun. It's a ching. Yay, I got a point. Okay. The second reaction you might have is like, that's lame. That doesn't motivate me at all. That's stupid. Why would I care about points? What do I actually get to do with the points? There's usually two different schools of thought on that. So, but let's go ahead and keep going. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more later. So again, like you go through and you actually start doing the course. Again, you can see a very similar pattern here with Allie's. So this is like teaching you how to go live stream. And again, it's like, okay, here's how you earn points. So same thing, right? Get a point. What I can do with these points, I don't know, but I'm doing it. And I'm just reading it. And then there's no like, it's like, add me to your sending list. Okay, well, that's just the logistics. I go and I do it. I check. Okay, great. And then join the free Facebook group. Again, really good in terms of like, I'm doing it, right? And I'm getting points. I don't
Also,
know what the points are for.
Yeah. And just a quick observation is that you have the ability to check that you've done it without actually having gone and done it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that would be that self-accountability thing for sure. Yep. So then it's like, okay, so now I have 10 points and I can get 10 points and I get 10 points. Okay. So, so that's the typical. I'll just show you one more. I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but you guys get the gist. So we talked about that one. So that's inside of one. I think I have my last one maybe. Here we go. Okay. So this one is like, it's a quest, right? I'm going on a quest. Your mission. Should you choose to accept it? Let's go. Super fun, great. And so now I'm going to go here. Now this one does it a little bit different. So I'm going to say, hey, we're done. Perfect. Okay. So more points, higher points, 100 points on this one. Again, don't really know what the points are doing, but I get them. Okay. And she has little helpers down here too, which again, this is like very classic Xperiencify. You can add little helpers, add little like moments down here off the screen. Okay, so those are just some of the examples and some of the things that Xperiencify can do. Now, let me go one level deeper. So if I go one level deeper into the course itself, I can go in and I can have multiple courses by this person. And that's what you're seeing the back in here, where it's multiple courses by that person. And so if I'm going to come in and actually go into a course or a program itself, this is an example of a lesson. So in ClickFunnels world, this would be the equivalent of a lesson. So again, I get the video and I see everything and I watch it and I click I'm done and great. But now I need to go to the next training. So I simply click on the next training and then I can do the training. And then again, it's like done, yay, points. Again, I still don't really know what my points are for. And so that's the pattern across all of the Xperiencify courses and programs. Now there is one I was trying to show you because it was super clever. Let me see if I can do it. Nope. There's one other fun thing. No. See, and that would get really annoying to me after a while, personally. I'd be like, oh boy, what is this for? Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to show you that in a second. They have other things that you can do to add that it's not just the points, but it's actually, I think it is on here. Okay, so we have the let's go. Let me go into the first session where you can add gifts and things that like pop up that will show you what you've done. And this is where I think maybe it's this, where basically they can like add surprise and it will like, here we go.
There we go.
The library of gifts that I can get, right? So again, like it's all like it, celebration and it's surprise and all this stuff. Okay. So at first that may feel like it's really good. And to the people who got really motivated by all of that or like thought it was fun, it's going to be exciting at first, but then it's going to get annoying and pointless. And this is why. Because while Xperiencify has done something really good to introduce surprise and introduce celebration and have engagement at the forefront, a lot of the stuff is logistical and external. So what we know is that when you gamify, you see things like points, leaderboards, badges, stickers, and swag, which are not bad in and of themselves, right? We know that those motivate. We know that people go for them, but it doesn't last. And it becomes really gimmicky really quick if it is for external reasons. So pleasure. Oh, that's fun. Surprise is pleasure. right? Or if it's for like social status or fear of punishment, we know that these things won't last. Eventually, people will drop. But if it's tied to intrinsic, which let's say we use badges all the time in our course design with Susan and I, right? But we make sure that the badge is tied to something intrinsic. I want to be that identity. And so by exercising that identity behavior, I'm getting a badge, right? It's not I'm getting rewarded or celebrated or points that are just random for something that is a logistical, I mark to calendar, right? So that is the biggest difference of where I think Xperiencify to me, really promising, super gimmicky unless you do it right. And I think it takes good design in order to make all of that work for you. And it also, I think it's kind of hard in the customer journey and the way the UI is laid out to help people follow that path. I think what you're able to do in ClickFunnels 1.0 is a lot better. And on that last note, because I know we're getting close to the hour, is that if you are really serious about engaging your customers, I would definitely check out what Xperiencify is doing. I wouldn't necessarily recommend switching because I think you can do those same things in ClickFunnels, especially now they have with HTML code embeds and things like that, right? Like you can insert those surprise things right there. The hardest part is that it just doesn't remember the user's position and that they won that thing, right? So you would have to design it so that that's not required unless you want to connect with us and learn how to do the Airtable connection. But if you really want to understand how to do not gamification, which can be gimmicky, but like deep engagement based on game design and game theory, I would heavily encourage you to go check out Amy Jo Kim. She is an expert in what we call game thinking. She ties user experience with gamification and how you build the best games in the world. She has been a part of multi-million-dollar game releases. So she knows her stuff and she applies it to the type of gaming experiences and course experiences that all of us are building, right? Like the products that we're building. And I could go on and on about her, but she has an amazing YouTube channel. And the last thing I'll leave you with in terms of the points is that there are different players. And so, especially on leaderboards, I usually recommend don't use leaderboards because half of your population is not a competitive, that is not their motivation. So having a leaderboard will not only annoy them, they will run the other way because that is not how they are wired. Yep, I'm right there too. Yep, exactly. And it's because there are these 4 different player types, which again, Amy Jo Kim talks a lot about. And so why these gamey, gimmicky things will backfire. It might initially give you like a wow, but then it will quickly dissipate and they will not actually do the thing you're trying to get them to do. So on that note, if we're circling all the way back, should I switch? I would say if you really care about your customer experience, Xperiencify is not the tool I would recommend to actually use and launch, but I would recommend to build something in Xperiencify so you can learn what they're doing. And then I probably would recommend if you still want to focus on that and you want that admin control, I think Thinkific is still probably the best solution for you. So unless you want to do a custom build with us. So that is, that's the wrap up on should I switch?
Amazing. Okay, so I love that. Okay, so we dove into Xperiencify, and also we got some of Andrea's awesome wisdom on creation of programs. If you guys want more of that type of content, let us know. We have stuff planned. That's probably going to be part of it. But I think the 2 that we're going to add to this list here, though, and I don't know when we're going to do them because we also need to get back to doing other things. I think it's SKOOL.
OOL, that's right. Yep.
School, which is a big one right now. That's Sam Ovens. And what was the other one that you said?
It was school. Oh, and KBB.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we will do those and we will let you know when we're doing them. But also just real quick, since you are watching this, we did do a schedule change. So all of our streams that we do into this group, that is the CF 2.0 Geek Out group, are all going to start at the same time. It's 12 p.m. Pacific, That's 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then if you are in Geek Out Academy, everything that we have for Geek Out Academy on those same days are just going to be immediately following the live streams into the free group. So that'll be either a half hour to an hour later. So we're just trying to streamline it, make it so that you guys know when to show up. So just come at noon Pacific every day. I think every day, Tuesday through Friday. We don't currently have something on Monday, unless you come and join Geek Out Academy and you can partake in the co-working sessions, which are awesome.
So fun.
If you want to join Geek Out Academy, it's geekoutconnect.com/academy. I think that's right. geekoutconnect.com/academy will get you in with us. We have awesome updates coming for the Academy. We're so excited about it. Hopefully we get to tell you about those
Tomorrow.
in the next week or two. Tomorrow, you think?
Tomorrow will be the beginning. Yeah.
Geek Out Academy. Yes, tomorrow's going to be a big day. Dan's going to join us. We have a surprise. It's a surprise to you and a surprise to us. It's going to be a fun time. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. It's going to be an open loop. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.